everyone, welcome back to an episode of The Blend. Today we are at Tease Me Cafe here on 22nd Street here in Indianapolis. We have a super special episode where we're going to be highlighting an artist and also Tamika Catchings, WNBA All-Star. So come on inside.
One of the main reasons that I took over Tease Me Cafe, we grew up on tea. So I remember my mom that was our way of coming together as a family. And when I moved here to Indianapolis, one of the fans after one of the games told me about this little tea shop that I had not heard about at all, and it was Tease Me Cafe. So of course, immediately I started coming, fell in love with the space. As you can see, this is 1,000 square feet with everything in it. So super tiny, super intimate, just very nice all together. And I fell in love with it. When I retired, I had a meeting here one day, and one of the guys that I was meeting with was just like, I was telling him, oh my God, I love coming here. Every single time I come here, it's like my little oasis. You lose yourself. And he basically told me, well, the owner is going to be moving and shutting down the place, so enjoy it while you can till the end of the year, and then we move on, right? But from that conversation, it sparked another conversation with the owner, and one thing led to another. My faith is a huge part of who I am. I dreamed about this place for 2 weeks straight. One of the things that we really wanted to do was focus on the youth, and really that's my passion. My sister and I, we have our own foundation called Catch a Star, so we do a lot in the community, and really with that, trying to figure out, okay, how do we do open mic nights? And we did a lot of open mic nights. We do a lot of just engaging speaker series, just a lot of different things. And then the art came up, because that is something that, poetry was my thing when I was younger. And I feel like through art and through being able to just express yourself, being able to put different artists on the wall, give them a platform to be able to use. I mean, this is what I have. We have a lot of blank walls, and really trying to fill it with happiness. Really, what Tease Me, I wanted it to be a place where people felt like they could come, and that was comfortable. I talk about it being my oasis, and it's always my oasis when I come in, but really being able to have a platform, especially early on, a lot of our artists were trying to find places to showcase their artwork. So we started this in 2017, and every month putting different artists on the wall. It's been a blessing, because through it, I've been able to meet a lot of really cool artists. Obviously been able to feature a lot of great pieces on the wall, and be able to meet some not just amazing artists, but amazing people. And I think that's where the connection comes from, because I think even as you look at tea and what it is and what it means, it is a way of being able to bring tea. You have to settle. It's not coffee, like you come, quick cup of coffee and you get out. Like tea, we have to steep it, so it takes a little bit of time. I think it's more of a process. And that, even when you think about artists and what it takes for them to design their artwork, it's the same thing. It's a process. So kind of goes hand in hand to an extent. We have art. We love to feature artwork at our place. And so she's been a feature here last year. She's at IUI, our IUI location, and our 22nd location. But super exciting, because she actually painted the one that you are going to see specifically for this month, with it being WNBA All-Star.
I'm Tashima Davis. I wear many hats, but today I'm going to wear the hat of artist, and we are at Tease Me Cafe. I discovered that I was a painter when I went to college in 2000. I took a trip to Italy. I noticed that I was seeing all the things that, I studied in art history, all the masters, all of the things that you're supposed to look up to, but I didn't see anything that looked like me. So when I got home, I decided to do my senior project on traditional beauty and urban beauty. I am from Gary, Indiana. I was born and raised in the projects, where I saw multiple trains go by with all this graffiti, all this color, and I just thought that was art. So when I got to college and they told me that that was not art, I was conflicted. So I made it my mission to paint and really try to do brown skin. So that's kind of what I specialize in, is painting portraits with brown skin and then a whole lot of color. And I think that color and that graffiti type of style and mixture comes from what I saw my whole life. I like for my art to be super colorful because it kind of goes with the emotions that I'm feeling or that I pick up from the subject or the client that I'm painting. Art invites. Art provokes conversation. Art speaks loudly without, yelling. Art is something that we can all relate to. It kind of takes us back to that very beginning of innocence where we can all embrace and all feel something from a work of art. Whether you like it or not, you're going to have some sort of experience with it. When I did the pieces for this particular exhibition, I decided to research my friend here, and I was blown away by all the titles that she holds. Of course, there's more than this, but these are the ones that stood out to me, and I wanted to actually write them out, so if somebody else is here visiting the cafe, don't really know, I don't know how they wouldn't know because this is indie, but if they didn't know who she was or the things that she's done, they can just look up there and read it. This one is titled Champion. Forgive me, I'm not an athlete, so I don't know all the proper terms, but I was blown away that she was a champion. She is a champion. Not only is she a champion in her career, but she's also a champion in her neighborhood. That means a lot to me. Community means a lot to me. And for her to be here and still investing and still so humble, that blows me away. This says, let's ball. I cannot shoot a basket. I can't do any of that at all. But I wanted to show how basketball, for some people, is their freedom. For me, art is my freedom, and I like to say it gives me wings. I can go, I can do, I can make, I can create, whatever it is my heart desires. I feel like that's the same for people who play sports. This one, I wanted it to just be clear and evident that we are talking about the WNBA, and that's self-explanatory. I didn't want it to be too girly or oh, it's pink and it's pretty. I wanted it to be the same as the one with the wings. Expressive, it's about the sport, it's a clear message, you can't go wrong with it. And then this one, I wanted to also represent Indiana Fever. I was trying to make something very classic and neat, but that's not true to who I am. So I made it and I was like, I do not like this at all. So I just went splat, 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 and then I fell in love with it. And yeah, so tying back to what I saw growing up, graffiti on the trains, it comes through in all of my work. This is my favorite piece. When you look at it, you just want to smile, right? I love this portrait of Tamika. I was searching for pictures and she has thousands of pictures on the internet. And I was just like, no, this is not the one, this is not the one, this is not the one. And then when I saw this one, I was like, this is perfect because this is how I see her spirit. She's bright, she's happy, she's bubbly, she's humble, she's just Tamika. So I am so thankful for the opportunity to showcase this work and honor a friend that I met and didn't know who she was until I really looked it up, and it just, all the feels. I like how the cafe feels like a living room. You can come in with your friends. My kids are over there, they're having a good time. It doesn't feel uptight, it feels very relaxed, and I love that about Tease Me Cafe.
So WNBA All-Star Weekend, it's coming up, and there is going to be a lot of activation going on. For me, it kicks off tomorrow, that'll be Wednesday, with the mural unveiling, which downtown, Nate and his crew, Nate and Brooke, did a nice portrait mural on the wall off of Mass Ave. So that's what it will kick off with that, and then Thursday rolls into, we have activation. We're actually going to be doing gym refurbishment at Riverside Family Center. Then we're going to do something with our foundation at Newfield. Of course, the entertainment, when you think about the games and all that, that will be Friday and Saturday. WNBA Live is going on, so make sure you check that out. And then we'll cap off the weekend with our foundation back to school celebration. But I will say, throughout the weekend, I know there's a lot of activation. Fever Fest is also on Friday, so there's a lot of things that are going on. One thing that I would challenge everybody, come downtown. Come check it out, because there's obviously things you have to pay for, but there's a lot of free activation. And I think especially WNBA All-Star Game, I've been talking about this since when I was playing and wanting to have it here in Indianapolis. Now the fact it's here, We're going to have the best players from across the W, from across the world, coming to compete in our city, and it's going to be an amazing time. So come check it out. You don't want to miss it. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
If there's a aspiring artist listening or watching this video, like what advice would you have to them?
Don't give up. Draw, paint, sketch, doodle, write, sing, play an instrument, whatever your thing is, do it every single day.
All right, Mark, taste test.
Okay, this is a Tamika Catchings recommendation. This is what the tropical, what again? Tropical cyclone. Okay, fantastic. I'm not gonna lie, this is hard. This is really good. Like, no, it feels like coconut. Like, I feel very much like palm trees right now, like swaying in the wind.
All right, everyone, welcome back to The Blend, and today we're going to be reviewing the film photos from Tease Me Cafe from the other week, and just wanted to kind of go over my favorite shots per usual. So some of my favorite images from this special episode was actually the portraits that I took, and that's something that I kind of want to start adding into this film series a little bit more, are the people behind these coffee shops. And a huge shout out to Yusuf and Ariel for inspiring me for this idea. They always like to say, we want to highlight the people behind the organizations that make this happen. I think whenever I am taking a portrait of someone on film, there's a little bit more pressure because those are the images that you want to turn out the most, just because you want to portray them properly in their element. And you know that they're going to be asking for that image afterwards too. So you definitely want to make sure that your settings are dialed in. And the portraits are my favorite ones just because it contextualizes the story that I wanted to convey. You know, you have Tamika in her shop and her element, and then also Tashima with her art pieces in the background, and really just kind of tells a story through an image. I think that they're exposed perfectly, in my opinion. You know, you have deep shadows, but then also just like the highlights and the whites are exposed properly. And something that surprised me was shooting tea is a lot different than shooting coffee. Even though a lot of times I think we characterize both of them as the same, they are very much so different. There's a lot more waiting around with tea, but I wanted to get those rich colors that you get into, you know, the herbal teas. And so this is one of my favorite shots. There's the leading lines with the drawer, but then also the deep rich greens into the herbs as well. I think this image really just portrays what Tamika was talking about with the store being super warm and inviting. This shot just has a lot of vibrancy and just very warm and welcoming. So one of my favorite shots is also the patio image, and selfishly I wish I shot it on Ektar 100 just because I'm finding a lot of joy and inspiration into shooting that, especially on the Mamiya 7, just because of the rich tones. But Portrait 800 here did phenomenally. I remember I exposed for the brick, and then also in the editing, just slightly bringing down the highlights just a touch so you could see some details in the clouds and in the highlights. I love how you have the warmer tones on the left and then the cooler tones on the right, and just, you know, your eyes are drawn to the brick at first, but then the woman in the red really just kind of pulls your eye towards the center of the frame. One of the coolest things about this series is that I get to interact with the owners on and off the camera and hear more about their story. And hearing about, you know, all of the things that Tamika is doing in the community is really inspiring and just making me want to keep this series alive, just because we need more community-oriented people, especially here in Indianapolis. And really just cool to see the transformation between Tamika's, you know, basketball career and also like her community advocacy work, and also just to hear more about the inspiration behind Tashima's art pieces and how vibrant they are and how welcoming they are, and just the authentic partnership between Tease Me Cafe and Tashima. So huge shout out to the Arts Council for sponsoring this episode. Huge shout out also to Tamika, Tashima, and the Tease Me Cafe staff for their time and energy into this episode. So go check out the WNBA activations here in Indianapolis this weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next one.